What's going on, guys? This is Blake, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to leverage Facebook stories, particularly with your Facebook profile, to drive more traffic to your content, drive more leads in your business, and ultimately get more eyeballs on your offers itself. So for those of you that are leveraging Facebook organic right now and using your Facebook profile to build an audience and grow your business, this video is for you. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen now. We're going to dive in, and I'm actually going to share my iPhone screen directly, talk to you behind this entire process, and then walk through a live example of me publishing to my story and showing you how to actually drive more traffic to your Facebook post directly. So with that said, I'm going to cue the intro now, and we will dive right in. All right, guys, so as we dive into this video, I'm sharing my screen here now and sharing my actual iPhone itself on the screen so you can visually see as I walk through this entire process of me talking behind how you can drive more traffic and more leads to your content by leveraging your Facebook stories. So this is a great thing to do with whenever you're putting out any lead gen content itself to get more eyeballs on your post and to get more comments on that post itself. So I want to walk you through an example on how you can do this and kind of my mindset behind publishing on Facebook stories with content itself. So getting into things, I first want to start by showing an example and walking through a post that I'm going to actually share a story on. So let's read this post through so you can see the story, and then I'm going to show you how this connects to what I'm going to put on the Facebook story itself. So quick question for you. Did Apple become the most valued brand in the world because the iMac, iPod, iPhone, iPad? It might surprise you, but I'd argue that it was none of them. Let me explain. With all those products were a blowout success, it's the Apple ecosystem that elevated above the rest. A mix of hardware, software, and services aligned with a vision for a way of living, the Apple way. You see, when you buy a product from Apple, you're quickly exposed to the advantages of being all in with Apple. The more Apple devices and software you use and keep in sync, the better it works and more you are rewarded. Makes sense, right? The company went from famously struggling to stay afloat in the 90s to becoming the #1 most valuable brand on the planet. Now there's so many lessons here, but the one I want you to focus on most is how they make buyers feel. It can take the essence of that and plug that into your business. You'll have leads and prospects who quickly become raving fans and lifelong customers. So how do you do this? I cover my process that does exactly this in my Post to Close workshop. And I don't see anyone else doing it this way, but you should, as it's magnetic and builds a bond faster than superglue. The buyer's journey starts through content, sales message, and how you genuinely and authentically solve problems and position your solutions. It's the sum of all parts. When you create a connection with your audience and maintain a feeling in their mind through all of your interactions with your prospects' experience, they will love working with you, and love using the solutions you provide. Based on the way you position and offer them and how you make them feel, in fact, they simply can't get enough. Want to master how to do this? Then give me a PTC and we'll get you instant access to the workshop. The Post to Close workshop goes up by 500 this coming Sunday, September 5th. Are you ready to go all in and find out how to truly make a difference and build an ecosystem that predictably creates raving fans and buyers week after week? Then type PTC below. So this is a story post that I published sharing obviously the story behind Apple. As a big Apple fan, someone that's highly involved with Apple's ecosystem, I'm someone that connects well to Apple, and I know their backstory pretty well, and I thought this would be a good angle to tie in and write a story post on while incorporating a call to action on my workshop with the price going up by 500 in the coming days. So my workshop was primarily focused on how to basically build a list of raving fans and ultimately drive hundreds of raving fans and leads every single week into your business, and then convert those leads into qualified and authentic sales opportunities and close sales through my messaging process. So when it comes to Facebook organic in particular, many people are out there doing things the wrong way and losing trust within all of their conversations and basically burning bridges. Where I take the opposite approach. I show you how to eliminate cold outreach so you're not being intrusive, and I show you how to ultimately generate sales conversations in the most authentic and warm way possible and convert those sales conversations and leads into highly qualified sales opportunities and ultimately buyers within your business that end up being lifelong buyers just like Apple. So with all of that said, if you were putting up this post, for example, and you wanted to share a story on this to drive more traffic to it and hopefully get more PTC comments or more eyeballs on the post itself, I usually like to think backwards. When I make stories, I like to first start with one story first that captures attention and creates curiosity, and then a second story that drives action after that. So for example, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to my notes section where I have this post at, and I'm going to look at this first line, and this first line is pretty curiosity-based and compelling. So it's the reason I put this at the top of the post. If people read this, they may want to continue to read on and find out exactly what it is. So they may be wondering, how did Apple become the most valuable brand? Was it A, B, C, or D? So what I'm going to do is take this curiosity-based snippet of text from the beginning of the post, copy it. I'm going to go back to my profile here. I'm going to click Add to Story. Now I'm going to, I randomly downloaded an image on Google that was an Apple logo, and I'm going to click Paste here, and I'm going to try to left align it so I can fit this in, see if it lets me. If I need to space it out, I can. And actually we'll center this. So quick question for you. Did Apple become the most valuable brand in the world because of A, the iMac, B, the iPod, C, the iPhone, D, the iPad? Now, what I can do is add a pulse effect or an arrow. You can search arrow here. And we'll want to find a dark arrow to go on this white background, so we can say black arrow. Okay. So I'm going to move this back. I'm going to grab this arrow, if it lets me. I'm going to spin this around. Actually, I have to move this text up for a second. Spin this arrow around and put this at the bottom. So rather than going straight to the offer and say, go check out my post, I'm inviting them to actually want to check it out to get the answer to this. So I'm going to change the color of this as well, so it's black. So now we have this first snippet of text in. So I'm going to save this before I publish it. I usually like to save and kind of create segments of stories. So now I'm going to save this first section. And now, for those of you that don't know that you're able to do this, I'm going to go back to my post. And then I'll go full circle at the end and show you how this all ties together. And I'm going to click the share button. Share to your story. Now, the cool thing about this, when you click share to your story off your direct profile post, is it actually allows you to, it allows the viewers itself of the story to click and actually go and redirect directly to that post and go straight to it. So we can either show these first lines of text, or we can eliminate it by tapping, simply just tapping my finger here. So I'm going to eliminate that. I'm going to put a little line of text above this. I'm going to say tap below to find out what made Apple the #1 most valuable brand on the planet. Put a little planet emoji. Now I will make this red to stand out a little bit more. And now I'm going to go to click here. I'm going to go back to, again, if you ever want to add any motion images or graphics, arrows, anything like that, you click the top right button where that little face is with the post-it note with the smiley face. And I will go here and I will select click here. Now I'm going to grab this image. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to move it right here. Try to rotate it back. So now I will have this saved. So now you can see as we go back to the stories here, I'm going to click add to story. I'm going to select multiple. And now I have this ready to go and this ready to go. So when I click next, it's going to show me a preview of what both of them look like. Go back, look at the first one. So you can see here, basically what this does is it allows you to, by adding a simple message before the actual link to the post itself, you're creating curiosity and you're ultimately driving intent and interest to actually want to click through on that post. Whereas if I just came in and said, tap below to find out what made Apple the most valuable brand on the planet, there'll be some people that click through, but there won't be as much interest. Whereas this, people start to think about, okay, I want to know the answer to my question here, so let's tap through and find out. So now I can share this. And it's going to be up and live on the story. With this being clickable. It's not going to be clickable on my end because I'm the one that posts it, but anybody else looking at the story can actually tap there and click it. So in summary with this, what you want to think about when you're putting up stories is how can you capture attention, drive interest, and then direct them to take an action. So you can use this with content itself. This particular video and the example of this video itself is going towards how you can drive more traffic to your post. So one feature that I wanted to highlight was the fact that you can share your Facebook post directly to your story and they're actually clickable. I also want to show you how you can add graphics to that story share to make them actually want to click. But more than anything, how you can capture attention on the front end first to actually make them and encourage them to click through when you do share that post on your story itself. You can apply this method for offer post for a variety of different ways within your story itself. And I'll kind of scroll through and show a few other examples. This is me right here just sharing congratulations to people joining the workshop. Now I'm swiping through the page with all the information to create some curiosity. Where it first shows less than 4 days left to save 500, swiping through the page, creating some curiosity. Towards the end of the video, now it says, message me PTC if you want the details. Then I go into showing some more proof of the response that the workshop got and how many people enjoyed it. Adding some graphics for people to tell them to hold and read if it's a long message, because if you hold in the story here, it's going to pause it and allow you to read it. And then again, wrapping it up with a call to action at the end. So try to drive intent and interest first. No different than what you would do at the top of your profile post itself. When you put up a post on your profile, a post in your group, or a piece of any content, the first 3 lines are really important because we have to capture their attention. If we don't capture their attention, they're going to quickly scroll through and skip past your posts, just like they will with your story. So keep this in mind when you're putting up posts in your story. And for those of you looking to drive more traffic to your content, start leveraging this. Create some curiosity-based first slides of your story, and then redirect on the second slide, sharing that link directly to your post so they can click through, and it will drive more traffic to your post and more comments on your content itself. All right, so as we close out today's video, hopefully each of you watching got some value and ultimately some clarity on how you can leverage your Facebook stories to drive more traffic to your content, drive more interest on your offers, and ultimately get more eyeballs on your post itself. So this is a very simple thing that you can implement starting today to start getting more reach within your content and more comments on your lead gen post itself. And something that you should actively be doing daily whenever you're putting up content, because it ultimately is another touch point for you to hit people within your audience and show them, hey, I just put out this post, capture their attention, and then get them to take action, actually click through and read that piece of content itself. So more to come on examples on how you can leverage stories in your business, because it's a really powerful tool to leverage and a powerful aspect of Facebook itself, and something that's constantly growing with new features and new things that you can do to really capture attention. So more to come on this. For now, if you got value from today's video, if you are planning to implement what I talked about today, be sure to drop a thumbs up below and let me know in the comments. And again, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, be sure to click the red subscribe button below and click the bell icon so you're not missing out on any future trainings that I drop. My goal is to hit 500 subscribers here on this channel within the next 2 months. And it would mean a lot to me if ultimately a few of you watching this video showed some love, support, and helped me achieve that goal itself. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next video.